Here's the setup for the translation taxi game. Every student will need a ribosome parking lot and a messenger RNA strip fed through so that a codon shows up right here under the A parking place. And then you'll need to cut, fold, and glue a little paper strip out like this that's designed to hold your amino acids as you build your polypeptide. These will keep sliding up and sliding up like this because you build from the bottom. So you're going to add like that and then you have to slide it up. If you're using paper circles, you could just put a stapler right here. Instead of a chute, you could just have a stapler and then you bring it over and just staple it and then you can keep sliding the paper up. But if you're going to use something edible that it's hard to put together, I recommend using a chute. So they'll look like they're approximately in a line. They may overlap a little bit, but it'll be okay. So you need some kind of token for each amino acid, and here I've taken the easy way out and I'm just using like Skittles and M&Ms. Even if you don't want to eat them, they're really inexpensive, brightly colored, the right size. You can get a box of them for like $1. So that's why I got them, because they're cheap and they look nice. But you could also mix in, you could have nuts or raisins or cereal bits, or you can mix in things that aren't edible. You could put pennies in one and candies in another, because the amino acids are very different because of the R groups. Like chemically, they're different sizes and they have different chemical properties. So you don't really need to make them all the same thing if you want to. The game will work if you want to put pennies in one and candies in another. The game will still work just fine. So I'm going to use my penny for the first one to be methionine. I'll leave it right there. So you want to construct the taxis so that you have this little rim sticking up right here. You fold that thing up and then you have the gray on the back like that. And then you want to load the trunk. I have the Valine taxi pulled in front of the Valine supply. Get the trunks all loaded. See, these are ready to go. So when one gets delivered and the taxi comes back empty, you have to refill from the appropriate supply box. So you're going to want to start with AUG, and it's the first one. You don't have to worry, just pull it over. It's white, and then AUG will be right there. That is the start codon. It's almost always start, and it codes for methionine, which is an amino acid whose only job is to be the first one. So I didn't make a taxi for methionine because you only use it once. So if you want to add one, you can just make another taxi and just write the name in if you'd like to do that. But I figured we'd just pretend that we've started here. Okay, so there's AUG, and then there's the first one, which should be methionine. So you're going to pull this over to the next one, and I have on mine AAA. And the strips are different. I happen to have strip number 2. So if you want to play a new strip, you can play a different one. There's 5 different strips. So I have AAA. Now it doesn't tell me here what this codes for. You have to look at the license plates, which carry the anticodon. So this is the codon, and this is the anticodon. So I want to find, see, AAA would match with UUU, and that happens to be lysine. So I would bring the lysine taxi over here, and it's got one in the trunk waiting. Put it right here, but it can't do anything yet. You have to be over to here to add on. But you can't slide it over unless you have another to come in and take its place. So I'm going to slide to the next codon and see that it says GUA. So the match for GUA would be CAU. So CAU, here it is, valine. So I'm ready to put this one over to here and bring valine in. And then I can take this one out, attach it. I'll slide methionine down, attach that one. And then this one is going to go over here. And then this one is going to need a fresh one to come and take its place. The next one's going to be GAA, so that would be CUU, which would be glutamate. So here comes glutamate. So this one moves over, this one moves in, and this one can go and get refilled. Lysine, I'm going to refill the trunk again. Okay, so this one, valine, gets to be added on. Move that over, and we need a fresh one here, which is going to be GGA. So the match would be CCU. CCU, and that would be glycine. So glycine pulls in, and then as soon as that one's in, now you have to have something in the A slot here to unload P. Now we can unload P, pull them back a little bit. This one can move. This one can slide over to here, this one can go here, and this one can go and fill the trunk with valine again. Okay, and it just progresses like that. UGU, that would be ACA, that would be cysteine. So bring cysteine over. Once you have, basically kind of wait till all three are there, then you can unload the trunk at the P site like that. This one escapes, this one slides over, and this one slides over. Now if you watch some video animations, it might not look exactly like that. These move out so quickly. In fact, sometimes they don't even show the exit. And these things just kind of merge. It looks like it's happening right between the A and the P or whatever. But for this game, this is what works best, and it's pretty accurate. So you slide that down a little bit. The peptide chain always goes this way. You can't take this and put it up here. You have to go here. It always builds from the bottom. Okay, so we can take this one and refill it. There's glutamate. Now this looks nice and orderly. Slide it over. When you have a whole bunch of players going and they're sharing taxis and things, it's going to get a lot more confusing. So after you do this demo round, you let them build one slowly so they get the hang of looking for the anticodon, sliding it over, adding it on. Then you can play a challenge round if you want. You could have two players work together if you wanted to, make it kind of a relay. One person could be doing the taxis, the other person could be reloading, and the other person looking at the codon. Or you could have it be an individual race. You just need to make sure, if you're racing, to make sure you have like at least a set of taxis for every two people, I'm thinking. Unless you really want to make it hard and make them wait, you could use a set for maybe three, but they all need to be able to see these. They have to be kind of facing this so they can read these and know what to fill. So everything's labeled from the front, so you can't have too many people. You know, you're going to be like spread out this way, so it limits you a little bit. Now these are actually worth making. Think, well, there's 6 of them for every 2 students, but these are, you can keep these, put them in a box, keep them, and it's really worth doing.